So here the question is, we have two bookstores, X and Y, and the question is, was the number of books sold last week, so you have to read that carefully, last week greater at store X than the number of books sold at store Y. So start with statement 1. It says, more than 1,000 books were sold at bookstore X on Saturday, and in bookstore Y on Saturday, less than 1,000 were sold. So this information is only about Saturday as opposed to the question, which is about the entire week. So one alone is insufficient. Can't extrapolate from this. Statement 2 says, last week less than 20% of the books sold at bookstore X were sold on Saturday. So less than 20% were sold on Saturday, and more than 20% were sold at bookstore Y on Saturday. Now again, that doesn't really tell me anything about the number sold on the other. It just gives me a percentage. So 2 alone is insufficient. Now if I combine 1 and 2, we're told that less than 20% were sold on Saturday, and that number is greater than 1,000. So we know that the entire week for bookstore X, that number would be more than 5,000, because a fifth of 1,000, a fifth of a 5,000 is 1,000. So we know that the number sold, meaning the way you can think about it is that this is, let's say, is 15% of the total number of books sold, and if this number that was actually sold on Saturday was more than 1,000, let's say 1,200, then 15% of X is 1,200. This number X will be greater than 5,000, as you will see, because this would be about 1/6, so it would be 7,000 or something. So the key point is that this means that the number of books sold at store X is greater than 5,000. Whereas for store Y, more than 20% were sold on Saturday. Now this number is something less than 1,000. So that means that the number of books sold for the entire week has to be less than 5,000. So we know that the total number of books sold in store X does exceed the number of books sold in store Y. If you're not convinced, you can actually pick some numbers. That sometimes helps when you're getting confused about greater than or less than. But if you do it conceptually, 1 and 2 together are sufficient. The answer is C.